if I'm not mistaken, like I believe this was quoted verbatim, 95% of economists that reviewed Kamala's and Trump's economics plan was like Kamala's was definitively better for the United States. So will put us in a better position.
Yeah, and it's clear. I mean, even Ben Shapiro, when Ben Shapiro was asked about that in this conversation with Sam Harris, Ben Shapiro was like, I mean, yeah, because Ben Shapiro, he don't like tariffs either.
Right.
But he was like, well, I don't think Trump would actually do it, right? I think that's just like
I hate that argument.
It's just a statement to like do like a negotiation. So I got to say something unreasonable so I can scare the other side in the negotiation. And so, but again, that's more that wishful thinking of, well, just don't listen to Trump.
I was just about to say,
was your life better 4 years ago or not? I know he just said something stupid. I know I ain't going to defend it. I'm not going to defend it. I'm just going to ask you, did you like it better 4 years ago or not? And then when you say that, it's like, okay, well then Trump policies don't matter at that point. Like he can say whatever. Just like, like he said, I can shoot somebody in the middle of the street and not lose any votes. Like, he's right.
And that's dangerous. That is, and to me, just to get on the right a little bit, because like I think being on the left and being a reasonable part of the left, I think is talking about the negatives about the left, but the right, there's so much there. And that to me is the biggest. And I think it's so hypocritical and for them to say Trump can say the dumbest shit in the world and they'll not take his word for it. The Republicans have this masterful way of saying, I know what he said, but he will do something different. And I'm like, that is dangerous. Take the man for what he says, like instead of thinking that he will do, like that is very, if any other candidate was judged off of their assumed actions relative to what they're actually saying, like we wouldn't even be thinking about Trump.
Yeah, Trump is unique, man. He gets away with everything.
I'm like, that is dangerous. That is extremely dangerous for you to defend someone and to say.
I think I understand Trump quite well. Now, again, a lot of people would disagree with me. So Trump is not, he's not ideological. Like he's not like
no.
He's not some, I got fundamental principles and a worldview and I'm sticking it. That's not what he is. Trump is like self-interested, really. Like whatever serves him is what he's going to do, right? So like if you're loyal to him, then you're good. That's patriotic. Patriotism means loyal to him personally. That's his, that's the way he thinks about that. And that's why it's like, people are like, oh, well, all of these people that left Trump, all these generals, your vice president, basically everybody, not everybody, but the vast majority of people that ever worked with you left. And It's like, well, the reason is, what he would say is, oh, well, they did a bad job, so I fired him. It's like, okay, when did you fire Mike Pence? Well, he was apparently not doing a bad job until he decided not to steal the election for you. Then it was doing a bad job. It's like, well, was he doing a bad job or was he just not doing what you wanted? Right? Was he doing the bad thing for the country or was he doing a bad thing for Trump? And what Vice President Pence did was a good thing for the country, certify the election, but that was bad for Trump. And guess what? Got rid of him. So I think Trump is relatively predictable. So I wouldn't necessarily hold him to 20% tariffs either, right? I think if he tried to do something like that and it was clear that it was going to either have bad economic impact or just look bad for him, I think he'll walk it back. I don't think he's principled enough to be like, I've said it and I'm gonna stick to it. He's not that type of person. He's just going to do whatever. Just for instance, just like Affordable Care Act, what he did was he said, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna get rid of it. As soon as he couldn't get rid of it, because you got, honorable Republicans like John McCain, like, look, may not be optimal, but I think it is, doing good things for my community. So, when he couldn't persuade the Republican Party to get rid of it, then he said, well, I saved it, because I wanted to make sure it did better. It was failing and I saved it. It's like, no, you failed to get rid of it. Now that's your story. But so, yeah, I think he's going to do whatever's in his interest. And so that's why I don't necessarily think that he is like going to do a lot of the crazy stuff he says. I think he is always a moment to moment decision of like what serves his interest. And that's what's going to come out at the end of the day.
I think I agree with you, but part of me thinks that he's not smart enough to understand his interests. And I think
I wouldn't say that. He's pretty good at going after his interests. I got to give him credit. Give him credit now. He's been pursuing his interests pretty well.
I'll say that, but I'm saying that in the context of saying in his previous administration, I think he was saved. And this is where I think this is the difference. Where I think again, like, and you spoke to it. 40 out of his last 44 cabinet members are not recommending Trump this year. And I think, just like you said, like previously we had John McCain, Mitt Romney. All of your reasonable
Gone.
Republicans have been pushed out. This is not the same as it was last time. This last time you had people in the administrative writing op-eds. You had like the grown-ups in the room that were able to stop some of his dumb decisions that he may have thought have been in his interest, but likely it may have not been.
Even people like Pence, who did do almost everything that Trump said, almost everything.
Right.
But he was like, deny the election. He's like, look, I'll do almost anything for you, but I can't do anything. And then Trump said, you ain't gonna do anything. Get out of here. I'm gonna find someone who will.
Right.
And he thinks kiss the ring. Kiss the ring. Do what I say, no matter what. That's that's his directive. And if you resist me, you're going to be like, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, all right. Anybody who resists me, you're out of here.
You're going. Yep. And that's the danger. To me, that's the danger this time is there are no guardrails. Exactly. Like we both got it, bro. And that's the danger to me. Like that's where I think he may not be smart enough to understand his own interests, because I think back then he had guardrails. There were people like, you know what, Trump.
But here's the thing: it's in his interest to get rid of guardrails.
But that's
what makes it dangerous. That's what makes the second term way worse than the first. Because the first term, he still had to play ball, right? He had to pick a traditional Republican evangelical and Mike Pence to, make the old school conservatives kind of confident that he'd be okay. Now he's like, I don't need to have any pretense of caring about traditional conservatism. I don't need to have any pretense of anything. I've kicked everybody out who's not loyal. I know who's not loyal, because those are the people who wouldn't agree to say that I won the election in 2020. So, he basically kicked everybody out who was not loyal. And everybody knows if they're not going to be loyal, they're going to get kicked out.
They're going to get kicked out. Right.
And now there's no guardrails. Now there's nobody to tell them no. And everything that didn't happen under the first term that got protected from those guardrails. And those guardrails, as Sam said, those guardrails got voices. They got names. Right. And they telling you, I ain't there no more.
Right.
We need to not let this man get power again, because you don't know what I stopped this guy from doing. Exactly. And I ain't gonna be there next time, right? And now Trump is confident enough. He's like, I don't even need guardrails. I need loyalty everywhere. And when you have that, you're in trouble.
That's the danger.